What's up, everybody? This is Ace from Ace Corner Talk. What's good? Hope everything is well. Hope you enjoyed your Sunday. We got a special guest today, and we're going to get right into it. Sorry for the delay. We were just having a little bit of issues trying to, get on the live stream. So hopefully everything's good. I got the chat open so I can converse with anybody that wants to converse. I have my phone line hooked up. So if you did want to come in, the phone lines are open. So I'm going to get right into the build, and then y'all can call in. You can get in. The number is 443-376-8842. What's up, Natasha Pope? Good to see you, darling. How are you? Let me put that number in the chat real quick. Okay. All right. So the number's in the chat, and that's what we're gonna do. What's up, Shots Fired? Good to see you. All right, so I have a Miss Tanya here, and she lives in Chicago, Chi-Town. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna allow her to tell her story, and excuse me, and I want her to tell her story. And feel free to be comfortable on Ace's Corner Talk to give her story and her narrative. Then I want to ask her a couple of questions, and then we'll go right into the build. And if there's anybody that's in the chat that want to ask some questions, ask the questions. I'll read it to her. Excuse me. Or call in. All right. So the number's there where you can call in. Hope everybody's Sunday's doing well. Giving shout outs to everybody that's subscribed to Ace Corner Talk. Subscribe, thumbs up, like. Hopefully you enjoy this broadcast. It's going to be very informational, all right? Peace to everybody. All right, Tanya, the floor is on you.
Well, my name is Tanya. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. Basically, I'm just telling my story about how I was shot about 25 years ago. Innocent bystander, just standing there talking to friends. Then somebody come down the street just shooting just because he wanted to shoot. And from that, I still have a bullet lodged in my back near my spine. So with that being said, things happen everywhere, but it's like the violence in Chicago has evolved over time. Of course, there's violence everywhere, like I said, but this violence is senseless. Like last week, a little boy was shot and killed in his father's car, and he was just at the stoplight. Killed for what? For nothing. This violence got to stop.
Speak up a little bit so we can hear you. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. We want you to speak up as loud as possible because we want what you have to say to be heard loud and clear. The first question I want to ask, is the crime that's depicted on the news, is it as severe as what the CNNs and the NBCs and the news stations depicted? Is it really that serious?
Yes, it is that serious. When an innocent young boy gets killed, it's that serious. Of course, they're going to take it to another height because Chicago has crime, but we're not the city with the most murders this year. It's other cities that has more murders than us. For instance, New Orleans, they have more murders than we do. But because some people say because Obama is from here, that they put the light on us more.
Right.
But something does need to be done about the violence. I can't even let my son go outside to play basketball because it's so dangerous.
Wow. Another question, right? So Obama is from there. Now,
yeah.
when at the end of the year, they usually say it's like 500 murders. Would that actually be the case, or is that fabricated a little bit?
No, that's actually the case.
Oh, so that is actually the case.
Almost 900 people killed last year.
Oh my God. I me living in Baltimore, we might top out at like 300, 329 maybe, but to even fathom close to the 900 people being murdered, how is the police? Do the police do they investigate like they should, or do they get right on the investigations from your perspective, or do they linger with the murders or anything like that?
They did a special about that on the news, and the detectives were saying that the murders outnumber the detectives, so it's not enough manpower to solve the murders. And then on top of that, the people in the community won't talk. So if they won't talk to the police, then they can't do anything.
Right. So that's what's happening. They're having a hard time trying to find people that's going to speak up, and
Exactly.
people that's going to speak up, and people that's going to put it out there as far as what's happening if something may pertain to their area, and speak out about it. Now, one thing about the street codes, I do know this. They'll say, well, we hate snitches and we don't want people snitching about what what's taking place, but on the flip side of it, somebody that doesn't live by the rules of the street, it should not apply. People that might be in the street life or anything like that, that shouldn't apply to them because they don't live by those rules. So I find it crazy that people would not speak up if there was a little baby that got killed or shot or something that happened. I find it crazy that they would not speak up. And with your situation, it's crazy. Did the shooter that excuse me, y'all, the person that shot you, did he get caught?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so.
Wow. See, because that right there, that's scary in itself. That you can get shot, nobody calls, nobody tries to seek to try to get the person arrested for who did that. So now you got random people out there just shooting and shooting at people and murking people, and they don't and nobody wants to get involved to offer the information up about the situation. The bullet. Now, where did you get shot at physically?
I got shot in my right arm. It was a 22, and it traveled through my back, and now it's lodged in my spine, near my spine. So they won't remove it because it'll paralyze me. So
right, so they can't, so they won't remove the bullet,
right,
for say because it would paralyze you.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm fine. It's been 25 years, so.
Right.
Yeah.
I needed to get this perspective about Chicago, because what happens is that narrative is painted that is so dangerous you can't even walk outside, you can't even do anything without being in fear that you'll get killed. Now, now without giving any details about your address or anything like that, where at do you live? Is it near any type of prime, any like how should I word it? Is it by anything that's prime or known to anybody? If you say this area, that area, like a dangerous area, or do you live in the suburbs? Is it?
I wish. I live on the west side of Chicago, in Humboldt Park. So
that's a dangerous. Is that considered a dangerous area?
Humboldt Park has gotten better. Now, where I used to live in K-Town, now that's dangerous. You don't want to mess with K-Town. But Humboldt Park, I live around a lot of Puerto Ricans and Mexicans and blacks. It's kind of okay.
Right. Yeah, I want to know if there's anybody that want to ask some questions. Feel free to do so, and and I will allow her to answer your questions, because the perspective that people get, especially here in Baltimore, that Baltimore is so dangerous, which it does have a lot of, excuse me, I'm trying to get my chat stuff working right. Yeah, Baltimore does have a lot of dangerous places in Baltimore, but for the most part, you know, you can walk down the street and not be worried about getting killed. Depends on what area you in, and you know how you maneuver in Baltimore, what area, what time of the day, and all that kind of stuff. Now, is it a lot of gang activity where you live at, that you know of?
Yeah, it's gangs, but they don't cross their turf, so it's cool. They know not to cross their turf.
Right, so they kind
But
of like,
if they do, they stay to themselves. If they do, then it's only because they're at war with each other.
okay, because I know the gang life. I was watching some documentaries about the gang life in Chicago, and how, and you know, and how it was, how dangerous it was. I I don't know I know it's Bloods and the Crips type of thing, but
Oh, we don't have that in Chicago.
oh, it's not even Bloods and Crips.
No.
What kind of gangs are there?
You have the GDs, which is, they're not called Gangster Disciples anymore. It's called Growth and Development. And then you have several gangs: BPSN, Black P Stone Nation. You got Travelers. You got the Force, the Moles. Um, you got so many gangs. You got what did I say? BDs, Black BGs, Black Gangsters.
Okay.
BDs, Black Disciples.
Would
they go
they
on
call
and on and
Black
on.
Gorillas too?
BGs, no,
No.
not here.
I think I have a okay, I got a friend. His name is Nehemiah Israel, and he lives in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not familiar about the area, but he lives in the West Side. So he just told me he lives in the West Side. So I'm looking at that. He said he lives in the West Side of Chicago. Let me so he lives in the West Side of Chicago. If you had the chance and the opportunity, or is there a chance and an opportunity for people to do a lot of outreaching there? Do you see a lot of churches doing outreach, and do you see any kind of like Black Lives Matter or any type of intervention around where you live at to try to stop the violence?
No, Black Lives Matter. They only come out when the police do something in the neighborhood. They should come out every time somebody get killed, because all lives matter. Actually, not just Black.
Exactly.
And the churches, no, they all about the money. Only time they gonna come out is when it's election time. So people don't really care for the churches. They tell them to kick rocks.
Are you sick? But in Chicago, that's what they tell them.
Yeah, because they being phony.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, because one question: do Jehovah's Witnesses, do they even come around?
They come around, knock on your door.
They do.
To sell you a booklet.
Right. Okay, so Nehemiah says a new era, Chicago and Ceasefire or Ceasefire are two outreach organizations.
Yeah.
You heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, are they real active? Is it effective?
I know Ceasefire is. I don't know about the other one he's talking about.
Yeah, Ceasefire. It's called New Era Chicago and Ceasefire. There are 2 outreach organizations.
Oh.
Because I mean, those are important questions to ask for anybody looking in that might want to go to Chicago or might want to see how it is, or you know, somebody that might want to tour Chicago just to vacate or whatever the case is. And if it's being depicted as just that dangerous, then you're not going to get tourists there. You're not going to get people wanting to come there if it's really that bad.
Well, actually, we get a lot of tourists actually, and they protect downtown, so they're not going to let anything happen to their bread and butter. It's just the hood that they don't care about. Donald Trump said one thing right: it's 2 Chicagos, the rich and the poor. They're always going to protect the rich.
Wow, that's sort of the same thing with Baltimore, because in Baltimore they have where the downtown Baltimore, they're fixing that up where the inner harbor is. They're building there and opening up different little things to build that up. But then as you come to the outskirts of the city, you see a lot of abandoned buildings. You see a lot of the hood type of things going on. So I think that's the narrative in a whole lot of cities. They got to protect the inner parts or the outer parts of the city or downtown rather, build that up, and then anything that's on the outskirts where they pushed all the black people, then they'll leave that and leave them to their own devices. And it's crazy that they do that, because I've witnessed it with my own eyes here in Baltimore. You know, I live in a decent neighborhood, but then it's like the Twilight Zone. If you go a couple of blocks this way, a couple of blocks that way, then you run right into the hood, and it's like, you know, it's real crazy and it's real dangerous. My kids, they walk around my neighborhood, but they don't go too far. I don't let them venture out. Like when I was a kid in New York, I can go just about anywhere I wanted to go on my bike and, you know, go down the hood and this, that. But here in Baltimore, I can't do that. They don't really have that experience of saying they can get on their bike and go anywhere they want to go, because it's well too dangerous for them to do that.
Exactly.
It's so crazy. It's no way they can do that and be safe, because you have kids that are now toting guns, and it's a reality. What's up, Queen Karasi? How you doing? What's up, my darling? My wife is in the chat too, also, and shouting out Nehemiah. It's crazy. It's crazy because the kids are carrying guns. You got 10 to 13-year-olds carrying guns. A spokesman for the police department, his brother just got killed. And usually when the murders happen, he's the one that goes on and speaks about the murder. And he had to come on there and speak about his own brother being killed. And I felt that one. It kind of like, it touched me a little bit. Like, you know, nobody's exempt. Anybody gets that work. And it's crazy because nobody's exempt from the hand of the gun. And I don't believe that the gun is what kills. I believe it's the people who are using the gun. People who want to get rid of guns. Now, I want to ask that question to you and to the chat. Do you believe that guns should be abolished? Do you believe that they should get rid of guns? Or do you believe that the individual household owner should be able to hold on to his gun or her gun? I want to ask that from your perspective, living in Chicago with the type of culture it is there.
Nah, I want my gun, because somebody come in my house, they gonna get dealt with.
Fact.
Ain't no telling what they gonna do to you.
Right. I believe I gotta agree with you. I don't disagree with that, because you never know. Living in those type of areas is dangerous, and you never know who can intrude in your house. So I believe in protecting your household. I firmly believe in that, in protecting your household, because you'll call the cops and try to, tell them, hey, somebody breaking in, they'll take their time getting to you.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, If somebody, you know, I got my little license to carry in my house and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna tell you this now: they come in my crib or they at my door trying to get in, I'm gonna bang them and drag them in. You understand? It's just what it is. Bop, bop. I gotta do what I gotta do. I gotta protect my family. Now I ain't going out with it, and I ain't brandishing it, and I ain't starting trouble on the streets. I ain't doing none of that. My stuff is well kept. It's well secretive and kept where nobody can get to it, but only me. So with that being said, a lot of now they're trying to stiffen up the gun laws for people not to have guns. Now, one question: how do you think people are getting the guns in Chicago? And I'm gonna elaborate once you give your opinion about that.
They'll go get them from another state.
So you think it's being brought in from other states?
Yeah. Yeah.
Me personally, when I was out there being the street pharmacist, I used to get some of the people that, you know, I used to deal to, they used to cop the guns for me, you know, give them a little something, and then that's how it was. We had a nice little connection, you know, where we was getting guns, and they would go to other states and do things, but, you know, that was in my past. So with that being said, I think the government also plays a role in assisting people to bring in guns to these type of areas, like where you live at, like where I live at, because I find it strange that everybody has a gun, small, young, whatever. Everybody has a gun, and I just don't think that these mass amount of guns are just being brought in by one or two individuals. I think, personally, my thought, I think that it has to do with a lot of outside influences. What's up, Aunt Valerie? How you doing? Good to see you in the chat. My Aunt Valerie says it's all right to protect your home and family, but she doesn't believe people should be able to carry on the streets. Now, Baltimore happens to be one of the states that you cannot carry. I think it's Baltimore and New York. Those are the two states out of the states that cannot carry concealed. Let me say it. You can't conceal. You can't have a concealed weapon. Now, if you go into the other states, Virginia and all those are open carry. You can have it on your hip and all that good stuff, and be able to carry it. But Baltimore and New York, I know for sure those two states you cannot have those weapons brandished or exposed. For the simple fact, you know, that I don't know why they passed that law, but you just can't have it. Now with your son, I was talking to you, and you told me one of your son got his friend got shot. Would you care to elaborate on that story, or is it too emotional?
Nowadays it's just we just deal with it. It's just something that happens every day. So, but he was just standing there. His friend he went to grammar school with, and some guys just came by and started shooting. And I think it was 2 or 3 boys that died. And of course, they never found the people that shot them. But it was just a sad thing because these boys were 14 and 15 years old and lost their lives for what?
Right. Was they walking? Was they walking from the school? Was they?
No. They were in front of someone's house, just standing there, being normal teenagers.
Right. It seems like them drive-bys are very drive-bys. I used to hear about drive-bys, you know, from rap songs and all that in California. Yeah, you would hear about that a lot in those two, like California and stuff. But it wasn't really that you know, that prevalent when you talk about Chicago, Baltimore. But now you're starting to see a lot of that now, where there's a lot of drive-bys and stuff, and people just be on their porch or in the yard and get shot up.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the case there too now, right? Real strongly?
Yeah, it's getting out of control. It's like every other day it's a drive-by. Um, Maybe a few weeks ago, a lady was in her bed, sleep, and somebody, I'm not sure if they reached into her window and shot her, or if the bullet came through and shot her while she was asleep. So you're not even safe in your own home anymore.
How was your son adjusting? Is he adjusting to the loss of his friend from the gun violence?
Well, actually, that's like the second friend he know that was killed. Another young lady was killed. I think she was like 14. So it's kind of like a norm to him now.
And that's pretty sad, man. That right there is pretty sad. Where you see so much killing, you become numb to it. Like it does not even affect you when you see your friend laying there, or you see your loved one or whatever. That's sad when that becomes the normal to you.
Exactly.
You know, I had that experience, and it's very traumatic. It's very traumatic. It's very traumatic in the sense where when you see somebody's life lost before you, mentally you go through a whole lot of adjustments and a whole lot of issues mentally, because that's just not normal to just see somebody dying right before you. And that in itself is very disturbing, to have to live and see that on a day-to-day basis. I don't know, but in the military, when people when you have vets in the military, when they come home, they go through the post traumatic stress because of the people and their comrades and those that they see getting killed before their eyes, get their heads blown off, legs blown off, and they seeing this, and they're coming home with mental disorder, mental distress, and mental disorders because of seeing their comrades and their army buddies and friends get their heads blown off, and it's disturbing. Now with your son, did he get any counseling, or have he got any counseling for the loss of his friends or anything? Was it, or he just holds it on the inside, or does he bottle it up on the inside?
He talks to me about it. I ask him questions, but he says he's okay. He's like, Mom, it's nothing new. Oh, excuse me.
Right.
He's like, it's something that happens in Chicago. I know how to deal with it.
Right.
But at that age, to me, you shouldn't have to deal with stuff like that. Because when I was his age, I was watching videos, watching the jukebox. If everybody remember the jukebox, so watching that and trying to sing Dr. Dre's song with Snoop Dogg. We weren't thinking about drive-bys or if we're gonna live to see the next day. And this made me think about what he said to me. He was like, I told him that he didn't have to go to school on the last day because I only stayed there for an hour. He was like, nah, I want to go because I never know. I don't know if I'm going to see some of my friends there in September. That's a sad thing to say. You know, that really touched my heart. He didn't know if anybody was going to get killed.
Yeah, that's real touching, man. That he would had that mindset to think that he wouldn't see his friends if he didn't go to school that last day to see them. And I lost a lot of friends from school. I've had 5 close friends die tragically under gunplay. And I know your son, after seeing his friends getting getting killed or actually experiencing that, losing them, and then even knowing that you got shot, the stress level, I know. How's his grades in school? But I want to ask that, by the way. Can he focus in school? Is it easy for him to stay track with all of that outside pressure?
They're okay. They could be better.
Okay.
But you know your kid. Everybody don't like school. So
okay.
I'm just pushing for him to get out of there. and go off to the Air Force.
Right, right. So they okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to paint a mental picture to all of the all of those who are in the chat. I'm trying to paint a mental picture to the audience to get them to get a sense of what it is to be in Chicago just through your eyes, from your experience. Now, for those who are just coming into the chat and are watching this live stream, I have a sister here by the name of Tanya, and she gave her story earlier, and she was talking about how she was on her porch and got shot in her side or her arm. Then it went through her back, and then it lodged into her spine. And the bullet is actually still lodged in her spine. So, so I went through a series of questions asking her about how it is to be living in Chicago, on the west side of Chicago, and I asked her different questions to kind of paint the narrative of how it is being in that type of hostile environment. Now, as far as the level of danger, do they rate the danger as far as I know they rate certain places with the danger, like what level it's on. I don't know if they do that there. Do they do that?
No, but everyone knows that the two most dangerous parts of the city, excuse me, are the south and west side. And to be honest, this is so funny. The south and west side people don't like each other. The south side people be like, "Oh, we can't stand the west side people. They so country." Then the west side people be like, "Oh, we don't like y'all south side people because y'all uppity." So
Wow.
yeah, but um, I used to live in Inglewood also, and that's like the most dangerous part of the city.
Okay.
Dangerous. You just be standing on the corners and get shot for no reason.
Now, one question about the entertainers. So you have Kanye West, who's from Chicago, and then you have what's the guy name? Kanye West, yeah. And what's the other dude?
Chance the Rapper.
Chance the Rapper. Those are the two well-known rappers, but there's others. But that comes to mind. Ain't Common from Chicago too? Common?
We have Common, Jennifer Hudson, R. Kelly.
Okay.
Oh my God. The list goes on and on. But the thing is, they really don't give Chance the Rapper. He gives back. As you know, he gave $1 million to the public school system, his own money. And Jennifer Hudson, she gives back. She like give out school supplies and whatnot, toys during Christmas. Who else gives back? Common gives back. He'll hold like concerts and whatnot. But as far as R. Kelly, he don't give back.
R. Kelly?
At least I haven't heard of it.
Wow.
But they still love him though.
R. Kelly don't even give back?
Nah, but they still love him. Don't say nothing about R. Kelly. They gonna go crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, and well, it's so many entertainers.
Oh my God! So R. Kelly don't even give back. I would have for sure thought R. Kelly would be one of the ones giving back. That he rap Chicago real heavy.
Yeah, but if he did, I don't know about it. From what I know, he hasn't.
Right.
Don't quote me on that. But the only publicly known people I know to give back is Common. Common, Chance the Rapper, Jennifer Hudson, Kanye West. Don't nobody even dig him.
Who, Kanye West?
Yeah, because once he left Chicago, he got Hollywood.
Oh, okay. Huh. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Sis Tanya, I got a guest that's in here right now. I wanted to welcome my guest. His name is Suicide H29. So I want to give him a few seconds to introduce himself And if he have any questions or anything he might want to add, I'm gonna give him this opportunity. Suicide, it's on you. Unmute your mic, Suicide. Well, maybe he don't hear me. Okay. So I'm gonna proceed on, and then hopefully he'll unmute his mic so he can hear me. Hold on, let me get my chat up. Now we had some. I think there were some questions in my chat. Nah, man, this computer here, man, this thing is acting real crazy. Now, when somebody gets killed or any type of tragedy, do the entertainers come out and rally with the people if there was something to be rallied about? Or do you is that something common? Is that seen?
No. No. The only person that really does something is Chance the Rapper. Like for the vote thing last year, he had like 20,000 people to go out and vote.
Oh,
but
man.
As far as anything else, I don't see celebrities like stepping up. Wait, it's this one guy. He's called Rhymefest. He wrote some lyrics for Kanye West on his album, The College Dropout. He kind of like in a community, stepping up to try to do things.
Right.
But as far as anyone else, no, not to my knowledge. I don't know of anyone else.
Right. All right, so Suicide, go ahead. Get in and ask your questions too also if you hear me. Suicide. Hello. Okay. For some reason we're not connecting here. All right. Thus far. Now, do you mind if I ask you about your son's father? That is he active in the community, or is he active as far as in his son's life? I know that's a little personal. You don't have to answer it if you don't want to. I just want to ask that because I'm trying to get an idea about how that role plays. Unmute your mic.
I also have a boyfriend, and he's in his life. He talks to him and tell him right from wrong and whatnot. So he has a male figure in his life. He has both, but he lives here, so he's more in his life. And he has my brother, his uncle. If he need anything, he can go to him. So he got men that he can talk to, and men at his school also that he can talk to, and our pastor. But yeah.
All right, well that's cool because it's important, and I want people that may be watching this broadcast in the future, whatever the case is, those watching now. I wanted to say this: if you have a situation like this, where you live in areas that might not be the best, you might be trying to upgrade at some point in time. You might not be financially in a position to do that. You might not, be able to do it at the current moment. If you got males in the household, it's important to have the male figure interact with the younger male. Drop jewels on them. That's what we probably would say. Drop some jewels on them. Be able to talk to him about not being drawn into the negativity that is in the neighborhoods, because you got people selling dope, you got gangs, you got all of that stuff, and it's important to have the right type of mentor in your life. And I'm not just directing this towards you, but I'm just saying in general, having a mentor is very essential and important if you do not want your babies getting caught up in the street life. I believe if my father was in my life the way I wanted him to be, I probably would have avoided a lot of the things I went through and experienced just if I would have had the mentor there. You know, right. If I had the correct mentor, not say correct, but if I had a mentor there, period, I would have been able to probably avoid half of everything I've been through. A lot of stuff was self-inflicted because I did not have mentors or a mentor in my life. So going to jail, selling drugs, all of those things were things I was doing for survival, to reach out, trying to be a part. Any of those narratives that a younger man that does not have his father would deal with, I dealt with that. And I asked those questions, being in a dangerous area, being in a crime-infested neighborhood, city, having that support is so critical. Having that right support and the right type of guidance is so critical, because people don't understand. It could be just the very time that you have such an influence in their life. You can say, I don't want you to go to that dance. I don't want you to go to that skating rink tonight. Could be the very time you're saving their life. You know?
Exactly.
Just earlier, my son, he was doing something and he was out and went somewhere, another part from away from where we lived at, and he got chastised pretty good when he got back home, because first he didn't ask. Second, he just 14, or just do what he want to do. No, it doesn't work like that. You just ain't gonna walk out the house and go anywhere you want to. First, you gotta ask us. Then depending on where you want to go, we'll let you know if you can go or not. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So with that being said, I wasn't just going to let him carry on and do what he want to do, because it's dangerous out here. Snatching up kids, they're doing all kind of madness out here, and I'm telling you, it's just not safe. They don't see why we're doing this, but it's just not safe. They don't know why we're telling them not to do this, but it's not safe. It's not safe at all. And I don't encourage no parent to be so cool with their kids or to be so lenient with their kids that they'll let them do anything they want to do, because they don't have the wisdom not to know to do these things. It takes the adults that have the wisdom, been through a little something, and know a little bit more than them to tell them, you can't do this, don't do that, because it's dangerous.
Right. Like you were saying, my son, he wants to go play basketball. So I'm like, no, you can't go over there because you don't know what is over there, or
do me a favor.
or what's going on around there. So I can't allow that, because my heart will be broken if anything happens to him.
So with that being said, my kids, I have to keep a tight leash on them. They're not squares. They're not like no no squares or no type of like that. They do get to do things and go to roller skating ring and do what they want to do. But for the most part, when it comes to venturing out and being on the streets and going all kind of places, we don't allow that, because it's way too dangerous out here. And God forbid if we just break down at one time and say, okay, you can go, and then something happen. That's something me and my wife probably wouldn't be able to live down if something happened on account of us trying to be that cool parent and letting them do what they want to do.
All right. But my thing is, I'm not a strict parent, because when I grew up, man, they were strict on me. We couldn't even leave the front porch. But my thing is, if mothers have that intuition, and if they have that feeling, then we usually gonna go with that feeling. I don't let my son go over anybody's house, because I don't know the people there. I don't know what goes on there. They could be selling drugs. There could be a child molester there. The uncle could be a child molester. anything. So no, like his girlfriend, he wants to go see. I gotta talk to the mama. I gotta meet everybody because you're not just gonna be over somebody's house and I don't know what's going on. And something happens to you, I'm gonna have to kick all the doors down and pop everybody up in there.
Right.
Kids
Right.
gotta kids gotta understand we're not trying to be mean. We're just trying to look out for them.
That's true. That's true. My objective uh here on YouTube in Baltimore City, my objective is to reach as many as families, as many as people as I can to bring awareness to strengthening our families so that we can protect our families against the things that are happening out there. I think these kids out here are so strung out on on life that they have no care in the world. And what happened and what is happening now, the parents are just giving up because it feels like they don't have a grip on what their kids do, and they're not really, trying to enforce rules, um, enforce them to live by the rules that they're setting in their household. So they're just riding along to get along or moving along to get along, whatever that cliche is. So they're not doing what should be done. So they're just letting their kids do whatever. May it be the mother, it might be a single mother working a couple of jobs, or may it be a father that just has his kids and the mother's not there, vice versa. But at the end of the day, when you look at it, we have to be better stewards in our family over what our kids do. My kids are not, even if he's 18, 19 years old, young adult, he's still not going to be able to do what he think he wants to do. And he's still in my household. Now, once he gets out my household, hopefully what I imputed or put in him, he will be able to make sound decisions and be well-rounded with his decision making. Now, if he's not, I can't be held responsible for that because I did my job. But hopefully he'll have enough sense to make the right decisions and allow my voice to be in his head when he goes to make those wrong decisions. And not say wrong decisions, or make decisions. I want to say I commend you for the job that you're doing, raising your son. I commend you for, putting the effort forward to parenting him, even under the conditions that you're under with the environment that you're living in. My prayer is one day you'll be able to, move past and move far beyond the streets of Chicago, if it's in God's will for you, or if in the near future it's permitted. But I pray, and I pray that, that you and your son and any of your family members are protected while they're out there on the streets of Chicago, because 900 murders in 1 year, that is a lot of people to succumb to gun violence. That is like, I'm still blown away by that number. It's crazy and it's sad. And I think that that should be a rude awakening for people that don't have any care for lives, because there's people that are connected to those people, and there's a lot of hurt families in Chicago. With those many murders and deaths, there's a lot, and then that's not including the normal passing away of an individual. These are people that have succumbed to violence, but not adding the people that have naturally
died, right,
expired and went to their destination, not including that. So I can imagine the stress level that Chicago would probably have. The stress level of those who are living in those cities, in the city of Chicago, the stress level that they might have. On a day-to-day basis, is it stressful for you? On a 1 to 10 basis, what is your stress level? If you can rate it?
I used to let stuff get me down, but now I don't, because I give it to the Lord. I give all my troubles to Him, and I just pray. Tell them to cover me. I ask to be covered with the blood of Jesus. So I know ain't nothing gonna bother me or bring harm to me. But I try not to let stuff stress me out because at the end of the day, can't nobody help me but God.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
about to pull this up and tell you how many people were killed exactly last year. Number. Oh, it was 762 murders, 3,550 people were shot.
are y'all? Did y'all just hear that? 700 and something murders, 3,000 and something people shot. Man, it sounds worse than Desert Storm, man. I mean, that's crazy. The casualties and the amount of people getting shot in 1 year. That is sad, man. That's the saddest thing I ever heard. That's sad, man. That's sad. That's sad. Maybe I don't know. In your best opinion, what do you think needs to happen in order for them? Because if I'm not mistaken, I heard Donald Trump said he trying to go there and shut everything down.
What's they gonna do? They gonna rob him. Uh, More jobs.
So you think a lot of the murders that are happening is because of lack of jobs?
If people had money and had a job, they wouldn't be on the streets. They'll be out doing something productive. But if you ain't got no way to get no money, you gonna I'm gonna go hustle. I'm gonna go rob this person. I'm gonna get some quick money. That's people mentality. They gotta eat. They gotta feed their family. So they gotta do what they gotta do. Not to say it's right, but the killing people, I don't agree with.
Do they have a lot of recreation stuff there? Because I know here in Baltimore they closed down a lot of recreational parks, and they closed down a lot of things that the kids do as far as recreational. Now, do they have a lot of recreation parks there for the kids, YMCA type of stuff there in Chicago?
They have a lot of stuff like it's this one club we used to go to called the Off the Street Club on the west side. It's on well, not directly on Madison. It's on Madison and something. And all the neighborhood kids could go there for like $3 fee for the whole year. They take them on trips. They could skate, play basketball, bowl. They could do everything there. So there's no reason for anybody kid to be hanging out because they got Off the Street Club.
Right. Yeah, I was sad when they tried to close up all of the recreational parks in Baltimore, and they was trying to say that they had to do it because of lack of funds and money. But then you turn
Right.
around, they're
That's always
building a
cool.
jail here, building a casino here, and it's terrible when you got to hear that the babies ain't got nowhere to really go play, and then they outside playing in the yard and outside playing around the neighborhoods causing mischief, and don't really have nowhere to really take their express themselves and get the energy out and do all that stuff. It's sad. What do
Right.
you think the issue? What do you think can help solve the issues in Chicago?
Um, First of all, mothers being mothers, fathers being fathers. It starts at home.
Cool.
Uh, Neighbors being neighbors. Going back to the old days. Your kid do something, whoop their butt. Then when they get home, they mama and daddy whoop their butt again. We need to take it back. We need to love our kids, love our babies. Then they won't be going to gangs looking for love. And give them jobs. Well, not give them because some people ain't even got the mentality to fill out an application. Well, I ain't gonna say mentality, but won't be able to fill out an application. How you gonna get a job if you can't fill out an application? You know what I mean? So give them skills. Give them something.
I want to move to the chat real quick. If anybody wants to call in, feel free. I got my line open now. You can call in. The number is 443-376-8842. Again, the number is 443-376-8842. Anybody wants to call in or have any questions to ask Sister Tanya about anything that might be within reason, whether she agrees to answer it or not, you can call in and be our first caller on Ace's Corner Talk. I would like to say peace to all of the chat. Aces in the hole. Appreciate y'all keeping the chat lit up. Thank you so much. I'm using this laptop here to try to navigate through everything. I appreciate every single person in the chat. I'm trying to focus. I'm sorry I didn't have too much interaction, but I appreciate everyone in the chat. Hit the like button, subscribe, like buttons, all that good stuff. And if there's no more questions, I'm trying to give everybody a chance to ask the questions that they would want to ask, just in case I didn't cover some of the questions. If there was something that I may have not said that you want to know, then this would be a good time for you to call in. All right? If you want to call in again, the number is 443-376-8842. What's up, the Antagonizer? Peace. If there's anybody, if you did want to call in, call in. Just want to make sure that we covering all the bases from the Chi-Town's perspective with everything that has been taking place in Chi-Town, even in her own neighborhood, her own issues, being shot, her son losing his friends, even two of his friends. It's a dangerous place to be. I thought maybe it was a good. Now, I do have a question. If there's any light in the sky that could be added to this, what can we say is a positive thing about Chicago other than good entertainers coming out the Chi?
Oh, we're good people. It's just they don't put the good things on. I'm going outside so you guys could see where I see a little bit of the hood in Chicago. It's actually kind of chilly today.
Oh, okay. It's chilly. It's
I don't
chilly.
know if you see it. Yeah. Across the street, vacant lot. This is my building. But good things. It's some good people here. A lot of good people, not just some good people. And it's the little stories that get on the news that people see. They don't see people feeding each other, stuff like that. It's really good things. I can't think of them right now, but it's some good people and some good things in Chicago.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure I'm painting the right narrative. I don't want to go bashing Chicago about the ills in Chicago. If anything, right. I would hope that there could be some resolution and some things that could be done to help the people in Chicago and to help the crime be reduced without having some dramatic type of thing happen to the people in Chicago. Very sad, the situations that are occurring there. Very sad. Right. Do they have a lot of abandoned buildings there? How is the drug thing? Is it out of control?
It's abandoned buildings everywhere. Well, not really in this neighborhood. You just got a few vacant lots, and but where I'm originally from is you might see a house, then you might see two abandoned buildings, then you see a house, then another two. Like out south, one block is one house, one apartment building, then a whole vacant lot. So, but they're trying to build up, but you know why they're trying to build it up? So people could come back to Chicago,
Right.
the white people.
Your phone breaking up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but with that being said, because here in Baltimore, they're selling houses real cheap, trying to, I guess, build up the neighborhoods again and selling the houses so
Right.
people can fix them up. So it's crazy that that although we're in different states, there are some similarities when you talk about the abandoned buildings and you talk about the drugs and the crime. Baltimore is anywhere near the murder rate and being shot thing is nowhere near that, but it does have its ills and it's dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there anything you want to add to what has been said, or anything to strengthen it, or any wisdom, or anything you want to add before we close out?
No, I just want people to know that there are good people in Chicago, that it's not all about violence. Like, there's a lot of activities for families to do together, a lot of concerts and whatnot, and just come visit us.
Right. What do
Anybody email me, talk to me.
Excellent.
If they want to know anything. So
do they have like here in Baltimore, they'll have like entertainers come to a certain part in Baltimore, like Drew Hill, and they might do like free concerts and free live things. Do they do that there in Chicago?
Oh yeah, of course they do.
Okay.
They do. Okay. Like this weekend they had a some kind of concert, which I don't really like going to places where there's a whole lot of people at, because you never know when someone gonna pop off and you got to move out real quick.
Right.
So
right.
I tend to stay away from stuff like that. But they had a concert on the west side yesterday where a lot of entertainers came out. But not my cup of tea, because if something pop off, I gotta go real quick.
Right. I feel you on that. Yeah, they have quite a few little events going on where they might have entertainers come, sing, and set up the little stage and stuff like that, where everybody might go and have some fun. But I guess that's their way to try to, for one day, bring down the killing and bring down that type of stuff. I don't know. I didn't have no calls today. I thought maybe somebody would have called in to try to at least ask some questions and be interactive. I know.
That's okay. We'll do this again.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get some updates, and we'll definitely go back into this bill and shed some light. Again, I did want to say that your son losing his friend. Tell him if he ever need somebody to talk to, and need a brotherhood, he can come and we can have him on the chat. We can we can get him talking, giving his perspective as a teen in Chicago. That's what we do. That's what we're about. So if he at any time feel like he wants to talk and vent and get his and get what from his perspective, or just let some things off his chest. Contact me. Y'all have my number now. Contact me and make sure that he reaches out.
Okay.
We're going through what he went through. There's no need for him to bottle that up and hold that on the inside. If there's anything that he's dealing with, loss of friends and all that good stuff, just have him reach out. That's the best thing. Reach out. I got people that could, give him some insight, give him some wisdom, even just talk to him. Got some good people that might can counsel him. Me, myself, it's important. He can reach out. Just don't hold that stuff in, because seeing what he sees on a daily basis and friends like that dropping off, it's not a good thing to hold that in.
Right.
You know, it's not. And I'm encouraging you also, anything you need, Ace Corner Talk is here for you. If you want, you know, just need to talk. If you want to build, politic, whatever, contact us. We're here. We're here. And hopefully that this broadcast can reach some people that might be looking in from the Chi, or somebody that might want to go visit the Chi. You know, and you want some insight, some wisdom, you want to give your email, you can give your email where somebody can contact you if they're in the Chi and want to be able to reach out and get some insight about something. All right? If you want to, you can give your email.
My email is TONYAMURDOCK4900@gmail.com. You can contact me anytime.
Excellent, excellent. So, Sis Tanya, I appreciate it. Everybody in the chat, I appreciate you. Let me do a quick shout out. Oh, come on. Hold on, y'all. My chat stuff is geeking over here. Man, I can't find my mouse that I use for this laptop, man. This thing is so sensitive. I gotta turn the sensitivity level down on this joint. Okay, all right. So I want to thank Natasha Pope. I want to thank my wife. I want to thank Queen Karasi. I want to thank come on, people. Let's see. Nehemiah Israel. Definitely want to thank you, bro, for stopping in. East Chi-Town native. Suicide always. 29. Shots fired. Miss Valerie Williams. Thank you for stopping by, Miss Valerie. Let me see. Come on. Let's get this thing jumping. Also, I'm Miss Black Lady. Where you been at? Glad you stopped in. You missed the broadcast, sis, but better late than never. Glad you stopped in. Hope that everybody enjoyed the broadcast. We'll be bringing some more things. We just want to thank Sister Tanya for coming in. I appreciate you. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for giving a piece of your life to Ace's Corner Talk. With that being said, tell your family, may they be in peace. May things be well on y'all end. And we'll continue to build, subscribe, tune in anytime you want. And we're going to keep it going, man. So this has been another successful broadcast from Ace's Corner Talk, coming all the way from Baltimore, reaching out to Chi-Town, Chicago, and getting some perspective of a native in Chicago. So with that being said, I'm going to say peace to the chat. Aces in the hole. Peace, y'all. Peace to all of the family that's watching. Peace, Sister Tanya. Talk with y'all later. I'm out.
Get back.